Welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Welcome back. I'm doing very well. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
I'm okay.
Very good. How was your stay in the United Kingdom?
Well, I'm back.
Did you have a relaxing time? Did you get to relieve some stress, possibly?
Well, I did my best. I tried as much as I can.
That's very good. How did you manage the... Did you come back with those protesters?
Well, I think they hit to my wallet.
Oh, they did?
So there was nobody there. As at the time, I gave the instructions they should get their bag and luggages.
Okay. Well, once again, welcome back, Mr. President. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I'd like to start off with some questions concerning leadership. What do you think the citizens of Nigeria are supposed to expect from their leaders, and vice versa?
Well, what Nigerians should expect from leaders, of course, is good leadership and to deliver on their promises. And then on the side of the citizens, they are to support this, support the leaders to make sure that these promises are met, and also to be law-abiding. That is quite important. If these things are in place, then you have a very smooth running.
So, in other words, it goes both ways.
Yes, it does.
Both parties have to play their necessary roles.
Of course, because if it happens that there are two parties who were supposed to do something quite good and they didn't, then I think there is a problem. The problem is there will be a balance. I did my part, and you didn't do your part. So there won't be balance. So in as much as leaders are expected to come up with things, the citizens also need to do something quite reasonable.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, as it's been on the news in recent years, that insecurity has become a reality to a lot of states in Nigeria. Mr. President, you've spoken about local government autonomy on several occasions. When will this finally be implemented to safeguard farmers going to their farm? When are you going to implement the situation where these insecurities will eventually stop? When will everything be under control? When will the citizens of those local governments finally feel free to move around at any time in the day? When will this happen, Mr. President?
You see, I think about a week ago, I had an interview with one of the Hausa, I think, TV stations thereabout. I made it quite clear that there is, in the constitution of Nigeria, there is separation of power. Now, in this separation of power, you come to realize that you have the federal government, you have the state government, and you have the local government. Now, when you remember what I talk when I say balance If one is not there, then the equation is not balanced. Then you have the federal government running smoothly. You have the state government also running smoothly administratively. And then in the local government level, nothing is happening there. That is a quite a big problem to Nigeria, because in the local government level, that is where you have people who are actually, the masses are in local government. They are not in state. They are not here in Abuja or any other city. The poor masses are actually in the local government. And then in this particular area is where you don't have leadership. You are creating chaos for a lot of people. Local government chairman, before he starts campaign, he has to do a lot of consultations with the people in that locality. And then when he starts campaign, his campaign will take him to a lot of villages. And these villages are people who are farmers. They settle there with their family and other things. And then he understands them, he knows them. So as a local government chairman, if there is a problem somewhere, somehow, the first person to know that problem is the local government chairman. Now, it didn't stop there. The local government chairman has councillors. Now, these councillors are in charge of wards in different places. There is no way that problem will come from either of these villages that the local government chairman will not know. A state governor visits local governments during campaign, and there are local governments he will not even visit again until he is done with his tenure and he leaves. And then you are in this local government, you are visiting the headquarters, not the villages. So this is to tell you that the governor has little to know about local governments. Whatever information that is being brought to him from local government is not a full information, so long he doesn't have a chairman there. So local government elections, if you have a chairman as a governor, you have the opportunity to gather a lot of informations. A lot of information that will help you security-wise, because constitutionally you are the chief security of that state. So with those information, you know where the problem is. But you don't have local government chairman. Nobody is there. Sorry to say, a lot of local government headquarters right now, secretariat, if you go there, you will realize that the buildings are even becoming dilapidated because they are not being used. If there is a local government chairman, you will be able to maintain those structures, but there is no. The best some of them do is to get a caretaker committee, and then you have just a caretaker chairman who doesn't have much to do. Okay, so what I'm saying is that governors should end insecurity by conducting a proper local government elections. When you do these elections, let it be a free and fair election, not just a mere appointment. Okay, just a mere appointment of people who will just go there and be yes sir kind of people. Okay.
Mr. President, thank you for your elaborate explanation on leadership and the local government autonomy and the issues behind it. But I strongly believe that it is time for us to implement those changes to make the citizens happy again.
Yes, exactly. I just want to add this to, excuse me, to what I have said earlier. Governors should understand that not having local government elections is the highest injustice one can ever do. Because at the bottom, where the masses are, they are not feeling the government. They are not feeling the leadership. And people who are supposed to be the representative of the people at that lower level are not there. So if you are a governor and you have not conducted local government elections in your state, I just want you to understand that you are not being fair, and that is the highest level of injustice you are doing. Because, like I always say, a day will come when God will ask us for all these things that are happening. We will account for it, and we give every single report on what we have done and what has happened to our leadership. Okay? So, my call to governors is that they should fear God. They should fear God and conduct local government elections, give every necessary power to the local government chairman to operate smoothly. Okay? To operate smoothly so that people can feel the impact of governance in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, on my way to the presidential villa, I was faced with long fuel queues. I came to see you with just a few drops of remaining petrol in my car, also known as PMS, also known as Petroleum Premium Motor Spirit. Premium Motor Spirit is currently scarce. I, as a citizen of this country, I'm struggling to get petrol, Mr. President. The queues, I've asked some people that have been there. Some of them have been there since 4 a.m., Mr. President. And they're still on the queue. As we speak, Mr. President, it is currently 11 a.m. Mr. President, as a fellow concerned citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the fuel queues are currently causing panic buying. What is triggering the panic buying? Are we not an oil-producing nation, one of the largest in Africa? Are we not on the top 10 of the largest oil-producing nations in the world? Mr. President, some stations are not even selling products. Mr. President, what measures can the government put in place to create sanity? You have to remember, and please bear in mind, Mr. President, a number of people are dependent on PMS, petrol, to feed their families and their relations, to take care of themselves and their environments, paying school fees from just being a taxi driver or generally a driver. Mr. President, what will you do to salvage the situation and make the citizens happy again?
Well, I'm not the one responsible for the scarcity of petroleum products, the PMS, as you have said. I told you earlier that leadership will do their part, and the citizens also will have to do their part. Now, the owners of these petrol stations are citizens like you. And for whatever reason, they decided to lock up the petrol station to cause scarcity unnecessarily. So this is the point I'm trying to make. Nigerians, in most cases, I understand to some extent leadership has problem. They have their challenges and the rest. Just like we discussed about the local government and the state governance. But the fact is, like it or not, the citizens also are contributing a lot to the way things are being run in this country, Nigeria. Why would you lock up your police station when you have and refuse to sell? To cause unnecessary scarcity in the country. So this is a problem. Okay? Federal governments are not the ones running fuel stations. Fuel stations are being run by individuals. And these individuals, for whatever reason, want to create scarcity so that they can have the opportunity to increase the price, the pump price or something of that nature, even when the government have not increased it. So, when you take a look at these things, you will realize to some reasonable extent, Nigerians are the problem of Nigerians. They are. Who is increasing the price of commodity in the market even when there is no scarcity? These are citizens doing it. Okay? Sometimes they hold some of this commodity so that they will create scarcity, so that they will make money from it. That is not government. Okay? That is not government. Some hold the fuel in their stations and only sell to people who are into black market to sell on the streets as the middle of the night. This is not a government problem. The citizens are the ones creating it. Okay? So, like I said, the equation must be balanced. When leaders do their part, citizens will also do their part. And then you ask another question, who are the leaders? They were formerly citizens like you and me. Just like before I became president in 2015,